Hi, my name is Danielle Ellis, and for my final project, I did potential sites for mixed-use development in Manatee County, Florida. For an introduction to my research project, the research question is where are good sites in Manatee County to develop mixed-use projects? A little bit of background, which I will go into detail later on throughout the presentation. The purpose of the study ultimately was to find potential sites throughout Manatee County for a new mixed use development. I had to obtain that data on my own, prepare it, run it through different analyses, and then come up with my final map and elements, which met specific criteria. That criteria or my objectives were to find sites that were designated planned development mixed use for their zoning district, sites located within all commissioner districts, and sites with access directly onto roadways, as well as sites that contained 20 to 30 acres of land. And after that, I'd prepare my final map with the selected sites. My study area is Manatee County, Florida. My project data outline, all of my layers and data came from Manatee County Government's Open Data Server. I was able to obtain the Manatee County boundary layer, parcel layer, zoning layer, the existing roadways, and the county commissioner districts. This is a map of all of the county commissioner districts, and there are 5 throughout the county. And this is a map of the zoning districts, which you can see there are quite a few of, but we are only focusing on the planned development mixed use, or PDMU, which is one of the dark pink colors. On this map, you'll see the roadways and parcels throughout Manatee County. To the west, you'll see it looks like it's almost filled in with the green parcel coloring, but this is actually the densest area of the county, so that's just tons and tons and tons of little parcels which make it look like it's filled in. For the criteria of my analysis, we'll go in depth a little bit more under the flow chart. This is just a basic overview. Created a geodatabase for my data, downloaded and prepared that data for use in my map, started my model builder, built it up with different functions and equations and tools. Then I was finally able to create a map from my model builder selection data and overlay that onto the commissioner districts and finalize my map with all appropriate elements. And a slight overview of the methods that I used, you'll see I used a conversion tool to transfer my shapefile data into a feature class. I created the geodatabase to store and organize all my data. I used the model builder, and inside that, I used the select layer by attribute, the selection analysis, the merge, and select by layer by location tools. Here's the flowchart of my methods. You'll see I started by creating that geodatabase to store all of my data. Once the data was downloaded, I converted that data from shapefiles into feature classes, and that was done through the conversion tool to database, feature class to feature class. And then I was able to create a new toolbox and then a new model. And then I was able to put my building blocks in that model. And I used the select layer by attribute for the zoning layer. And I did the equation zone label equals PDMU to give me the zoning of PDMU and have that selected. From there, I performed the selection analysis on the parcel layer, and the equation that I used for that was acres between 20 and 30, and zoning equals PDMU. That gave me all parcels that contain 20 to 30 acres and were zoned PDMU. From there, I merged the data that I got from the zoning layer and the parcel layer. So I had one merged layer. And then I was able to perform the select layer by location. So I could select all parcels within that merge that boundary touched an existing roadway, which happened to be all parcels. There were none that were not selected. Once I was able to run my model builder, that data I was able to overlay onto the commissioner districts and then finally create my final map with all of the appropriate map elements and then come up with my conclusion. And for the results, there were approximately 1,694 sites that could be used for mixed-use development, and they were located throughout all commissioner districts. And like I stated in the earlier slide, all sites that had the appropriate zoning and parcel acreage abutted a roadway. There were no sites that did not have access. And this is my final map, showing the selected parcels that met the criteria overlaid onto the commissioner districts. For my limitations, I believe some things that hindered my project were my personal experience and expertise with ArcMap. I'm still learning, so there was still a learning curve even after taking this course. Additionally, layers had overlapping data and it wasn't consistent. And then, of course, human error, duplicate data, things like that. And there was definitely adequate data for my project. And the theory to answer my question was not entirely appropriate from my proposal, so I had to tweak my methods. For example, in my proposal, I had selecting by attribute on all layers. Instead, I used the model builder and did the appropriate tools from there. And I'm sure there were better methods or tools that could have helped me. Again, my learning curve, still getting familiarized with the process, could have hindered that. And to avoid the limitations in the future, I could complete more of the Esri training courses, do more research, and then also ask questions in class. And for my self-evaluation, I spent approximately 13 hours working on my final project, which included beginning to end. I ultimately gained more knowledge in Model Builder than I had before, and I was also able to work with the data fields and create the field calculations more efficiently than I have in the past, and I didn't struggle as much. And I would say that I'm like about 85% satisfied with my project. I wish that I could have excluded parcels that were already built. However, the data for that was a little confusing for me, and that wasn't part of my proposal. I didn't think about that until I got my results. And then comments for the professor, the PowerPoint outline that was provided for our proposal and the final project were extremely helpful. I struggled coming up with an idea, so seeing that layout helped me look through that list of projects that were prepared by past students and helped me decide what I wanted to do. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you.